Today we salute a remarkable American, a soldier, a survivor, a jokester, a joy, a man from Texas. A man of God. It is an honor to be here today with Richard Overton's family and with his friends to celebrate an extraordinary life of a man who touched the lives of so many here in Austin, in Texas, and across our entire country. Richard Overton is a Texas legend. He is an American icon. He loved this nation, and he put his faith in God Almighty above all else. You know, we celebrate Richard Overton not because of how long he lived. Instead, we celebrate him because of how he lived his life. You know, it's simply amazing to consider how the world changed so much during the years of his life, especially during the time of his service during World War II. When you think about it, we gather for this celebration today in the bustling city of Austin that's infused with advanced technology, vibrant music, and Franklin's barbecue. But as we gather today, we can barely comprehend the strife that gripped the entire world during the war in which Richard Overton fought. It included massacres, the Holocaust, death from starvation and disease, and the use of nuclear weapons in war. And yet, we are free today because of patriots like Richard Overton. We are thankful also to be blessed with the presence of so many people today who have served in our United States military and worn the uniform. If you've ever worn the uniform of the United States military, would you just wave so we can thank you for what you've done along with Richard Overton to keep our country so great. Richard's service, where he came forward to serve our country in World War II, shows that he exemplified what it means to be part of the greatest generation. He voluntarily enlisted in the Army. He served in the South Pacific, not in search of glory or some type of gratitude, and not because he was forced to do so, but instead out of a sense of duty for the nation that he loved so much. My wife Cecilia and I were honored to be able to host Richard Overton at the Governor's Mansion for his 109th birthday celebration. We had a cake, but we didn't have enough room on the cake for 109 candles. So we settled for 3. At 109, Richard displayed his quick wit and joyous spirit. He was there that day in a wheelchair, and I had shaken hands with him, and the grip felt like the grip of a Dallas Cowboy football player. Should I have said Houston Texans? But he challenged me to a wheelchair race. And I got to thinking, man, how embarrassing would it be for me to lose a wheelchair race to a man 109 years old? So I thought it might be smarter just to sit around and chat with him. And I asked him the question that everybody asks him, and that is, what is your secret to living so long? And his answer was immediate and unequivocal. Cigars and whiskey. Now, I did not know until today that it was also butter pecan ice cream. Well, as we celebrated his birthday, we talked about his life, his military service, our mutual love for Texas, and of course, we talked about whiskey. But what stood out the most was his genuine kindness and compassion. It was the sheer joy that he had just in living and the humility and grace with which he lived. For me to appropriately pay my regards to Richard, I searched for Bible verses about cigars and whiskey, but I came up empty. What I did find, however, was this verse from the book of Colossians, which is a fitting way to celebrate the life of Richard Overton. Therefore, as God's chosen people, clothe yourselves with compassion, kindness, humility, gentleness, and patience. God was talking about Richard Overton. That is the way that Richard Overton lived. That is the way Richard Overton will be forever remembered. Thank you for joining in the celebration of Richard Overton. May God bless you all, and may God forever bless the legacy of Richard Overton.